As you can see behind me, we're working in the gutterways, finishing them up this week with the flat lock copper panels. There's about 350 total panels per gutterway. There's 4 total gutterways on the Capitol. All of them get hand soldered in. It takes almost an hour per panel. So it's a lot of intense work, takes a lot of detail. There's a lot of training and testing that goes on before these guys are allowed to work on this type of project. There's third-party inspectors that test their soldering skills and make sure that they pass the approved specs and standards we have on this project before they can go to work. We don't take it lightly. We want this roof to last a long time. We don't want it to leak. So we hire very qualified guys that pass very high standards to make sure that we're getting a quality product for the state and for the Capitol. Over on the east wing, a lot of the substrate has been completely repaired. We're currently working on the monitors, which are the pop-up roofs above the Senate chamber. There was old gyp planks that were falling apart and leaking over there. Those get removed, new miscellaneous steel gets put in with a new creep plank, which is stronger, weather tight, and it's better for the air conditioning and heating to hold in the HVAC. After that goes in, the copper will start going on the east wing. East wing will wrap up towards the end of the year, and then the west wing will be our last wing to finish. We'll do the same thing on the monitors over the House chamber that we did on the Senate chamber, and that will conclude the re-roof project of the state Capitol.
We're in the new visitor entrance. You can see that we've cut down the grade. The cut was roughly 16 feet because that's our floor-to-floor height. So we're here at the ground level to marry up with what used to be the old basement. You can see that we've got all of our footings in. We're preparing to pour the slab on grade. So the little blue pieces are actually underground ductwork that'll feed the HVAC for the new entrance. And then here to my left, that is where we actually cut back the existing pedestrian tunnel and we've tied onto that. So our new structure flows seamlessly through into the tunnel so that folks can get underneath Lincoln just like they've always done on the overflow parking there to the east of the building. This is the home of the new visitor center, the new tourism stop. For every visitor that comes to the Capitol, this is where they can buy their mementos to take home with them. This is where they'll go to go for a tour of the building. This is kind of the first step in the new visitor experience in the state Capitol. Next summer is when we'll open the new visitor entrance, so that's when this area will be heavily populated with the visitors. But right now, tourism has moved in and they're actively welcoming guests each and every day. As you can see, we're wrapping up here in the governor's wing. The marble has been restored. The new paint scheme has been applied to the ceilings and to the walls. This is the first time that the governor's wing has been properly covered as far as fire suppression, fire alarm, new HVAC systems, all of those things that are part of the infrastructure renewal of this project. Making the space more efficient, providing for better office spaces, an expanded office number is one of the amenities that we're adding to the governor's wing. Not to mention the upgrades to the large conference room and the AV and IT realm. All of these things are now wrapping up for us, and we look to move the governor back into this space in late September. So we're here on the 3rd floor of the House of the Representatives wing. We are working from the 6th floor all the way to the 2nd floor in the House of Reps side. This work takes place between the 1st of June to the end of January. The legislators will be back in their office when session begins. We're working to put back the original ceilings. This wing is really the last of the major renovations that hasn't been touched. So once we walk away from this space, the building will be by and large a brand new infrastructure operating in a historic building. Since our last project update, this room has come a long ways. We actually did the full scaffolding system in here as well. The ceilings have been fully restored, 100% new paint, start to finish, touch-up repair of any of the plaster works that required it. The marble base and the marble columns have all been restored. And next up is the dais. We're making strides in making this existing dais more accessible. We'll go through and put a really heavy finishing agent on it to stand the test of time for another 100 years. And then we'll come back with the carpets, the old rails. Those have been out for restoration. The pews have been out for restoration. So really everything will come back home here to the Supreme Court room. It'll just be restored and in brand new shape. This is our scaffolding system that we're using for a lot of purposes. We're using it to hoist material up and down from the ground floor through the 4th floor. We're also using it for work access for the lights we're using it for work access on the handrails. And here on the second floor, we're using it to access the entirety of the second floor ceiling so that we can start the restoration on all of the light fixtures, all of the ceilings, and install the new painting scheme. We've actually gone through, made the structural cut in the first floor of the rotunda and opened it up all the way to the ground floor to the dome. Here in a few years we will reconstruct this first floor opening. We will build a balustrade and we'll actually set a new state seal here at the ground floor so that people can see all the way up to the top of the dome from this new ground level. Kind of the last step in connecting the new visitor entrance with the rest of the state capitol building.